Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching India Tonight with me, Sumita Karir, on our top story this hour. Well, the Aam Aadmi Party's loss in the Delhi Assembly elections has hurt the party's plan to become an alternative to the BJP and Congress nationally. Its meteoric rise saw gains coming in over the past many years. It secured nearly 13% of the vote share and 5 seats in the Gujarat Assembly polls in 2022. And that made it a state party in 4 states, that is Delhi, Goa, Punjab and Gujarat. But losing Delhi to BJP and a dismal performance in the Haryana Assembly elections has stopped the party's march to ascendance. With just Punjab left in its kitty now, Aam Aadmi Party is faced with the challenge of ensuring that it manages to keep its tally intact and flock together in Punjab. But the BJP has already started targeting, in fact, not just the BJP, but the Congress as well has been targeting the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. Now the party finds itself in hot waters. Will it be a mission comeback for Aam Aadmi Party in the coming months? Can the Aam Aadmi Party sustain BJP and Congress's assault in Punjab and other states? And most importantly, can the party shape itself once again to become an alternative to the BJP and Congress? Well, these are some questions that we'll be deliberating over the next few minutes with our guests who are joined in. I'm now joined in by Dr. Piyush Joshi, political analyst, and Kailash Adhikari, MD, Governance Now. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening on India Tonight. Let me come to you first, Mr. Joshi. Is there an immediate threat to the Aam Aadmi Party? All right, so we have Kailash joining us. I'm given to understand that Piyush will be joined in a little while. Kailash, so let me take the first question to you. Is there an immediate threat to the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab now, given the kind of statements that we're hearing from BJP and Congress leaders? Pratap Singh Bajwa says that there would be an internal power struggle. Manjinder Singh Silsa says that Kejriwal is not trustworthy. He's ditched everyone and now he will ditch you too. What are you sensing in terms of what's going to happen in Punjab with the party?
Sumita, naturally, after the kind of drubbing that the Aam Aadmi Party has got in the Delhi elections, they are absolutely treading in very weak waters here and on a weak footing, to be very honest. You know, what actually went wrong for the Aam Aadmi Party is that instead of fighting on certain issues in which they believe is the real issues of the Aam Aadmi, the only focus of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal or his entire party was trying to blame the central government, trying to blame the Prime Minister, trying to blame the administration of Delhi, that LG is not allowing them to do or they are not able to do anything. And it is always the central agencies who are behind them, where actually there was enough proof to, go against them. And the people of Delhi, as well as the Aam Aadmi or the voter of Delhi, understood that all that Arvind Kejriwal is just show without no substance. You know, he couldn't deliver any of the promises that he promised in 2020. The manifestos were half empty. And in this time, the manifestos were just talking about certain promises which even they knew could not be fulfilled, because in the last 5 years, they were not fulfilled at all. And now Aam Aadmi Party, because we've seen in the other elections, other than Punjab, whether it's Gujarat or any other state, in some states, most of the candidates have their deposits gone. As we call it, zamanat e zabt ho jana. In some of the states such as Gujarat or others, hardly they have any tally there or hardly they have any ground support. Now, the only key factor for the Aam Aadmi Party is the Punjab state, where I think it is close to 92 seats out of 117. But that also, I mean, a lot of things that the Punjab, I mean, on your broadcast only once we were discussing that how the Punjab government is not able to pay salaries on time. It has miserably failed in managing finances, because naturally they promised, you can promise the moon, but you cannot then deliver, because naturally your financial position does not allow you to do so. And then you have raised taxes on VAT on petrol, then you have raised property taxes, right, which are actually killing again the Aam Aadmi, so-called Aam Aadmi. So naturally, right, yes, they are on weak waters and weak footing.
Yes. Absolutely, and that has really impacted the brand equity of the Aam Aadmi Party. And now I'm also joined by, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Piyush Joshi, who's also a political analyst. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshi, for joining us. Now, Kailash is speaking of the kind of drubbing that the Aam Aadmi Party has received in Delhi. And of course, this is because of the alleged non-delivery of promises. And now the kind of statements that we're hearing from various political parties, BJP and Congress, how valid are these concerns? Can Bhagwant Mann indeed break away from the Aam Aadmi Party now, given that the assumption is that Arvind Kejriwal's stature is in question, and many say that it's a sinking ship?
Well, we can always say that it's a sinking ship based on the results of one election. But if every political party starts to sink just by losing one election, then I think we will be left with no political parties in this country, because that's the nature of politics. You win some, you lose some. So, and as far as BJP's and Congress's conjectures are concerned about Aam Aadmi Party, they would certainly like that. That will be an ideal situation for them, man breaking away from Arvind Kejriwal. They can keep dreaming. That's not going to happen. Let me explain why that's not going to happen. Because wherever Mr. Kejriwal
Hmm.
has
Hmm.
gone, he has always accompanied Bhagwant Singh Maan along with him. Whatever decisions Mr. Kejriwal is taking,
Hmm.
Bhagwant Maan Sahab is always a party to that. So and he is calling the meeting to thank the Punjab MLAs and to for their support, which the Punjab government and their MLAs have extended to the party and its infrastructure over periods of not only Gujarat election, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Himachal and whatnot. So, the support that the Aam Aadmi
Hmm.
Party received from Punjab has been immense. So it's only just whatever the results may be, but as a true leader, Mr. Kejriwal should call the meeting and should thank each and every one of those MLAs for their contributions, for their time, for their energy, for their insight. So I think that's what doing. And as far as Mr. Sirsa Saab is concerned,
Okay.
and all the other BJP's and Congress's leaders are concerned, they can talk haywire all they want. Because Mr. Sirsa also claimed that Aam Aadmi Party is anti-national. They have links with Khalistanis.
Hmm.
Six for Justice, an imaginary
Okay.
organization, rose up just before
Okay.
the
Okay.
Punjab elections.
Okay.
Letters were, furnished
Right.
before all the
Right.
television cameras. And not even a single iota of proof was submitted before the election commission. Forget about submitting it over the police or the
All right. All
various
right.
law enforcement
So
agencies.
essentially, Mr. Joshi, you're stating that all of these claims that are being made by the Congress and, of course, BJP leaders are not based in truth, and this is mere conjecture, and all is well within the fold as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. But we also do know that Arvind Kejriwal has called for a meeting, and there is conjecture that this is to ensure that the flock remains together. And Kailash, let me come to you on that point. Why I'm pressing on this issue is because a similar model and situation panned out in Maharashtra as well. So one can really assume that there could be a faction which could very well engineer a split. I mean, anything can happen in politics, right? And given that, do you think the Congress party could play a role in this? Because why are Congress leaders really making those kind of claims?
No, Sumita, anything and at any time can happen in politics. We all know that, and that too, especially on the turf of Indian politics. One cannot predict what can happen next. But it all depends upon how true are the party men to their own party or to their own leader. At the end of the day, I mean, if Arvind Kejriwal fears that his party men, he needs to make certain effort to keep his party together, because then there's a fear within talking that maybe his party men may flock after looking at the drubbing in Delhi. Because see, Delhi was the crown prince of the Aam Aadmi Party, which they have lost, I think, after 2 terms. And prior to that, they were 28 seats and they were in government with Congress for 5-6 months. So yes, he was a chief minister for quite some time in Delhi, apart from the last 6-8 months when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was in jail. So there could be a fear within Mr. Kejriwal and the party men, because he has lost his own seat, Sumita. That is a very important thing to note. Mr. Sisodia, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal being the torch bearers of the party, they could not secure their own MLA seat in Delhi. So naturally, it calls for a big rethinking and rejig.
Yes.
And if there is fear within him that there could
Hmm.
be an upset or a dethroning in Punjab for the party,
Hmm.
then fears are justified.
Right. All right, so you're stating that the fears are justified. Mr. Joshi, what really happens to Bhagwant Mann as a leader in terms of his stature within the party? And will he now become more assertive? And how will Arvind Kejriwal balance that? Because we've seen in the past, Arvind Kejriwal has repeatedly claimed that it's not Atishi who's going to be the chief minister, and he is going to be the chief minister. In fact, when he was in jail, he did not really give up that position.
Because Mr. Kejriwal always knew that it was because of that alleged liquor policy scam that he had to resign. It was not his intention to resign. But did you ever hear Mr. Kejriwal say that Bhagwant Mann is a temporary CM or something like that? Mr. Bhagwant Singh Mann is very much a popular CM of Punjab. He has proven it time and again. Even in that Modi wave of 2019 elections, Bhagwant Singh Mann won his seat by over 2 lakh votes. So he has earned whatever position he is in. And Mr. Kejriwal is a firm believer in his leadership. So, and as far as his assertiveness is concerned, I don't think there is anything to assert for, because Mr. Mann actually is trying to execute promises one by one and by one, and he has said that as far as this Mahila Samman Nidhi is also concerned, he will fulfill that as soon as the state is in a fiscally prudent condition, and he is working towards that. So he is an honest CM. He is talking to every pind of Punjab. He is taking his leader along, and his leader is trying to thank for whatever contribution he has received from that particular state. Where does this fear arises from? I fail to understand. There is
Correct.
one factor which is definitely there, that there was an angry
Okay.
vote in Delhi.
Okay.
It was an angry vote because people were not happy with the partial fulfillment of promises. I will not say that it was a complete failure of fulfillment of promises. The promises were partially fulfilled and partially not fulfilled. So the people expressed their vote, and they expressed their anger through their vote, and that is why Mr.
Right.
Kejriwal lost. That is why Mr. Sodia lost. That is why Saurabh lost. But so there is certainly a lot to introspect. The party has to introspect. The party
So-
has to re-strategize, and then reassert its own agenda to both in front of people of Delhi and nationally.
Absolutely.
It is the political
Absolutely,
outfit
Mr.
which has
Joshi.
received the
Right.
the status of national
Right.
party in the shortest term. So just to count that out, Mr. Adhikari, I come from the state of Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Adhikari would not even have an idea how many volunteers of Aam Aadmi Party are there in Madhya Pradesh. I have the diary with me. How many of them are in Chhattisgarh? They are in lakhs. In Madhya Pradesh, only 2.5
Let's,
lakhs are the
Mr.
volunteers
Joshi,
of
let's
the
not
party.
take personal jibes. Mr. Joshi,
No, no.
let's not take personal jibes.
It
And
is
I
not a
get your
personal-
point
it is-
about
it is-
the need for the Aam Aadmi Party to
Bhumika,
introspect.
I'm not
But
taking,
I'll have
I'm
to
not taking
disagree.
a personal jibe. I'm
If
not
I can
taking a
speak,
personal jibe
I'll
at
have
all.
to.
With due respect, if it sounded like that, I apologize. It was not personal at all. All I'm saying, just to write an obituary of the party, just to say the party, a national party, just on basis of
Okay.
losing one election, is facing an
Okay.
existential crisis. Just asking for a Kejriwal's epitaph to be political epitaph to be written is a
Okay.
little far-reaching, a little too much, because the party has a wide base.
Okay.
Because he mentioned Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh, because he mentioned Gujarat and Haryana, that is
All
why an
right.
answer. Absolutely nothing personal at all, Mr. Adhikari. So,
Okay.
if at all it sounded like that,
All right.
my sincere
So,
apologies.
Mr. Joshi,
I didn't mean that.
Kailash, you'll have to wait for a little bit and I'll come to you. Kailash, but since Mr. Adhikari
I
has
need
raised
to
a very
respond.
important point about introspection, about the delivery of promises that the Aam Aadmi Party needs to do in Punjab, let me ask you, what kind of introspection will the party now need to do, and what can it do to sort of regain lost ground and, of course, political capital that it has over these past many years? Because, Mr. Joshi, in this election, nothing was spared. There were attacks, counter-attacks, which is fine. But of course, Mr. Kejriwal went on so far as to say that there was a genocide underway, and that really didn't go well with voters. So what does the party now need to do in terms of strategizing and rebuilding itself?
Lost. It was their primary fort, so to lose
Mr.
it and to
Joshi,
come
very
back
quickly,
from it
and then
again
we'll
will
go to
require
Kailash.
will require strategize will require re-strategizing. And what are they going to do? Why did they win in the first place? They won all their elections because they were people's representative. I have been on the ground. There was a tremendous anti-incumbency factor against the MLAs. The MLAs were not contactable. So you have to make sure you have to devise an appraisal plan for all the MLAs, that they are available to the people. They how much amount of time per day they are spending amongst the people. That kind of re-strategy has to happen. The re-strategy, the strategy and the introspection has to happen at the Sangathan Mantri level. That what kind of policies has been implemented as far as the organizational structure is concerned in last 2-3 years. So I think that there's a lot to introspect upon. It's a major loss for Aam Aadmi Party, probably the biggest it has faced in the time of its
Absolutely.
formation. So unless and until I would agree with Kailash,
Yes.
if they don't don't introspect, if they don't improve, just this, whataboutery is not going to work. Because the people of Delhi have shown you that. So go back to your grassroots, go back to the drawing board, start
Absolutely.
from the scratch, and be the minnow
Absolutely.
again. Parvesh Sharma is being called as giant slayer. I mean, who is the giant?
Right.
Arvind Kejriwal is the giant? No, don't be a giant. Be a minnow again. Work again. Convince the people again, and then leave. As Mr. Kejriwal himself says, this party is a divine
Right.
intervention. Then leave the
Right.
rest on the divine. You do your job.
Absolutely. Very valid points made, Mr. Joshi. One final question to you, Kailash. Now, do you think that the Aam Aadmi Party will continue in the India Bloc Alliance, given the kind of charges that have been traced between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress, and the allegations that the Congress Party actually cut Aam Aadmi Party's vote share? And if that does continue, how will that alliance really pan out?
Sumita, and I have said this time and again also, that for me, the India Bloc Alliance never existed. It is nothing but a congregation of certain power-hungry political parties who are opportunist and who just thought that by standing on the stage together, they could do some dent. In the Lok Sabha election result, they painted as if they have won, but the Bharatiya Janata Party came with a consecutive third term, and BJP emerged as the single largest party with 240 seats. So that is no mean feat after 10 long years, and some bit of anti-incumbency that definitely comes in, and you are still at 240 does not mean. So for me, the India bloc does not even matter, because sometimes they are there, sometimes they are not there. So that is nothing but, actually that is a jumla. The India bloc, this word is only a jumla. Secondly, not to counter, but just to respond to what Mr. Joshi said. Firstly, I am pretty amazed by the fact that how, being a political analyst, I mean, the way Mr. Joshi is in support of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, I think the Aam Aadmi Party needs more people like Mr. Piyush Joshi now at the current situation. And secondly, no need to apologize, Mr. Joshi, and nothing is personal, which I completely understand. But I never took the case of Madhya Pradesh, and I need not even know how many Karyakartas do AAP have, because I'm not a member of AAP and I do not intend or wish to be. My only thing and my point which I reiterated was that there could be a fear, and there definitely could be a fear, because if you lose your Bale Killa or bastion, as we say, then we are all humans. And fear, I mean, fear and faith go hand in hand. So you might have a fear that what will happen to your political future.
Absolutely, and that really puts the big question so far as the existence of Aam Aadmi Party and the growth of Aam Aadmi Party as a challenger to, if not the BJP, then the Congress at all. That can be considered. Facts have changed on the ground clearly, gentlemen. The big question now is, will the Delhi debacle have ripples in Punjab? And that remains to be seen. On that note, thank you very much, Mr. Joshi and Kailash, for joining us this evening on India Tonight.